Where are you on the totem pole of life? And specifically, this is something that I like to look at because I'm a big fan of economics and finance and money and creativity. And something that I've noticed that as Black people specifically, African Americans, we're on the bottom of the totem pole as the consumers. We are the bottom feeders. We are the ones that they throw things at to bait us into jumping into their web, their network, their market. And what I mean by that, as African Americans, we are mostly consumers. And to put it into perspective with this example, every time my nephews download an app on their tablet, I know it because they're connected to my email. And I got an email because they have downloaded 200 plus apps. Consumers, of course, they're kids. But all of us as African Americans, we are consumers. All we do is buy, 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 buy. We never get past, I'm not going to say never. There are very few of us that get past the entry point of just consuming. Because once an app is downloaded, most of the apps are free. But in order to upgrade, there's an entry point to consume and generate more money. Can you program the upgrades? Can you create the game and put in your game logistically and with all of the different add-ons to be the one that cashes in on these add-ons? Look at one of the most popular games. You can download it for free and play. But in order to really experience the full game, you have to buy more. You have to buy more. You have to buy more. So that company just made money. Their developers, they just made money because they are constantly adding upgrades, constantly adding new skins. They're constantly adding new guns. They're constantly adding more and more and more. I like cars. So if I was to buy a game, there is their entry point. The car game itself is free. But the rims that I want, I may have to pay for. Through the app, of course. Through the game, of course. That's an entry point as a generator and a creator. Here's another entry point. My phone company, Verizon, they're happy because they noticed my memory was getting low. And they offered me an additional level of memory to where I have a half a terabyte of memory across all of my devices for an extra $5. So now they just collected off of my consuming. They also noticed that the tablets are owned by kids because there's an algorithm. And so what does Verizon offer me? Cases, rubber cases. What are they also offering me? Protection, saying we think you need some insurance and more coverage because these tablets are owned by kids. What are they also offering me? Tech support, because kids will just click, 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 and they may lock themselves out of something not knowing what they're doing. This also happens with adults. We can be clicking on our phones constantly, downloading these apps, not understanding that these apps can change the configuration of your phone or your tablet or your device. So now you have to contact tech support. That's an entry port to generate more money because they're trained in your device. They're trained in how to fix it. Your Wi-Fi goes out. You may buy the best Wi-Fi as a consumer, but someone else is entering into that market and saying, we can offer you tech support. We can offer you tech support. We can also offer you some insurance. That's an entry point. All from this purchase of this tablet. There are so many entry points to generate. However, as African Americans, we're still at the bottom as consumers. So now there's a case that's been bought, insurance been bought, a lot of money for upgrades, a lot of monies for extra games, a lot of money, more money for a case, more money for insurance. And now what else are they going to tell you? You need a headset so that you can talk with people. That's more money. You should buy this for that. Everywhere we go, we're being sold. Literally. Because now, what are they asking you for? Your information. Your zip code. your area code, so they know exactly how and where to target you. Look at cookies in your apps and in your phones. It follows you everywhere you go because we're constantly being sold. But how many of us are actually on the other side as the creators and those who generate more and more and more? How many of us are actually looking at how we can benefit off that? Most of these companies are on the stock market. Yes, there's a lot of volatility, sure. But do we even know that we have access to purchase a part of Samsung, a part of Google? Because now on your phone, you can use that same phone to become someone who generates money. We use Cash App all the time. But do you actually use the Cash App to bring in more money? Cash App and a lot of Square, it's an open source, meaning you could take what they use to create that and build on it to build your own. A lot of us don't know that. You can use that phone to create videos, of course, with content. We all know that. But how many of us know that if we get 1,000 people to watch us at a certain point and subscribe, we can now make money off of this very platform that we use? We are mostly consumers. Look at our food. We go into the store, they know what we like, so they sell it to us. But how many of us are saying, let me jump into this space right here because what I make is just as good? We go to all of these restaurants and we could look at one family member and say, their burgers is better than theirs. So we should start creating and generating so that we're growing. Because at every area aspect of life, there's an entry point to a higher level. However, as African Americans, we don't jump into that. We continue to play as the small fries, the shrimps. They go and take up everything on the bottom of the ocean floor. But how beneficial is it? Because what are they actually generating for the ecosystem? What are we generating for the world? Yes, you could say our rappers are. However, what are they really generating? What are they creating? Because they're just going to get a deal and there's an entry point. Come buy this Rolls Royce. It'll look good in your driveway and in your pictures. Come buy these jeans. Come buy this jacket. Come buy this shirt. How many of us know we have family members or friends who sell clothes? But because it's not something that we consider to be name brand, we don't help them become something that's big and name brand. Look at FUBU. For Us By Us became big because we took a chance on it. So how many of us are going to take a chance on ourselves and one another? Because at some point as African Americans, we have to stop just being those who are sold to. We have so many entry points to where we could tap into a lot of this stuff. We just don't. Mostly out of ignorance, and my people perish for lack of vision. Because at the end of the day, our community has a vision of just consuming, flossing, and looking good, which we get. But if you look at a lot of our icons, they didn't do that. They were willing to eat oodles and noodles and all that stuff like we have all the time in our community, just so that they can afford filet mignon, because they were disciplined. There are so many entry points that we have, but we don't take advantage of it. And the other aspect of the entry points, when we do, we lord it over our own and say, get like me. And when we ask them in private, how do we do that? They're like, man, you just got to grind. You just got to do this. You got to do that. Okay, so what did you do to grind? We instantly clam up because we're like, nah, I can't trust you. It's not even like that with most of us. We just really want to know, what did you do? I want to move and step into that same blueprint that you had. Because we have a lot of people saying, I could do this, I could do that. Because my question is still, we see a lot of us looking for the entry point in a lot of industries, but it's not being offered because we're constantly being consumers, looking at all the stuff in the world. Because my question still remains, Spike Lee, Ice Cube, all of these producers and these directors, where is your school for us? Sure, if you get 10 students and only 2 stay on to actually go through it, you just touched 2 lives and you just impacted 2 possible generations to do more and more and more. Even if it's just one, You just impacted one person who's there is going to say, I want to do this because I learned from Lee Daniels. Where are our schools? Where are our people of influence coming back to teach us? Why haven't they opened schools like that? Why haven't we seen some of our biggest artists actually open up a school and show a lot of these young rappers how to rap for real? Not just get on and start speaking. But there's a lot of different things and aspects of it. And being a music student, there is a lot that goes into the production of a song. It's not just getting on and spitting or singing, because I can sing. I'm learning a lot that is not just about being able to open my mouth. I'm talented, sure. I'm gifted, sure. But it's stuff that people at the top are looking for. So when I get to the top, will I be willing to move and keep it going forward to generate more, or show my people how to generate more? Because in our community, we are so tight-lipped with our success that we just don't realize we're keeping our people at that entry point, knocking at that door by just saying, can I have some more? Or dime, please, dime, please. That was something that I was told. You have those little kids who were told to go to the master's door and ask for a dime because they're going to tell the adults no. But the children are resilient. You could tell them no 50 times and they're going to ask you that 51st time. And 9 times out of 10, they get what they ask for. We should start doing that. Because it just came to me just sitting there. Like, if I download this app, there are so many entry points that a lot of these companies are going to look for from me, because they're seeing we can generate off of her. She's another one that's added to the notch. Can you say it's racist? Sure. But racist is just a social construct, a conversation in a language created to make you feel less, because words are powerful. Our language is powerful. So much so that they're using our languages in many different things. Because now they're seeing we have the power to generate, but we don't. All we think of is consume, consume, consume. So what happens if we start looking and saying, I'm here as a consumer, but I want to turn around and be the one that's actually taking up market share to become a generator for my people? And is it easy? No. But what if enough of us did that? Because you saw it happen with Black Wall Street, but a lot of the times they send our own in to be our downfall. So what if we just started moving together as a people and as a unit? Because I downloaded one app from me, which is what brought this conversation up. While I'm using the app, there's another ad. There's another ad. They're saying you upgrade to this, you can have this, 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 and this. And if I upgrade to this, there's going to be more and more and more that they're going to offer me to let me know. As African Americans, we are the package deal. But how many of us are willing to offer that package and not trying to cheat our own? Because we'll be willing to tell our people, pay $50. But let another person who is Caucasian or white, however you want to say it, we're willing to give them whatever it is that they ask. They'll pay $50, but we'll go above and beyond to make them happy, while we're looking at our Black people and waving them off and throwing crumbs. So as African Americans, we need to climb the totem pole. Because anytime you buy something, there is someone else trying to offer you another and another and another and another. I order my food, and after I order something, the algorithm is triggered. And it's saying, okay, we notice that she only buys a lot of vegan food, dairy-free food, meatless meals. So let's give her some coupons for this Beyond Meat burger, this dairy-free cheese. Let's give her some coupons for this Gatorade, because I've been buying Gatorade a lot lately. Let's give her some coupons. Let's give her some type of sale for some ginger tea, because I keep ginger tea. So now my 20 bags has gone to, okay, we'll give you 100 bags for just double that price. So I'll be paying $14 for 100 bags versus $14 over time for just 40. It's an algorithm that we are all being turned into. But that's still something that we generated because we buy so much. They could create a line of code and generate so much just off of us. because all we do is consume. So at what point as African Americans will we stop being the bottom feeders? Will we stop being the shrimps, the small fries, and going to have more and more and more and more? When are we going to say enough is enough? Let's begin to change and trigger the system to see that since you see us as just a number, we're going to take away our race. Our race is still here, but we're going to turn around and help those who are in our community and enroll more and more people into our benefit package and not just the benefit package of the world. This is our opportunity now. Because every time you buy something, you're being tracked. Even this video, once I post it, it's being tracked. They're going to see how much conversation will be generated around this one video based on views, likes, shares, the subscriptions that I now have. And what is Google going to start doing? They're going to start offering me more ways to make more videos, to create more content, and also tell me, hey, for $16 a month, people can watch your videos without a commercial, because everything is constantly being sold to us. And as African Americans, we have been nothing but consumers. But that's not our way of life. Because everything in this world, if you look at it, it was created because we're here. Yet, we don't allow ourselves to eat from it and share it. We eat, but we don't share it. And then when we do share, we don't have a lot left over for ourselves because we just bought so much in abundance. Because it's like we have something to prove. We want to show off. And at some point, this has to change. We can't continue to be on the bottom of the totem pole and let physical characteristics be the main reason why we don't enter into these conversations, because someone wants to say, take your black, take your, you know what they say. Even with women, they want to call you every B word but bold, beautiful, and bodacious. But we are moved by that. But what if we start saying, okay, we see that, but we're here at this table now. So you have to either give us our due or we're going to take it somewhere else. Because they're depending on us to make these things work with our constant consumption. But what if we turn the tables and say, okay, we just created something that you can't find anywhere else. Like the fully automated store that's in Atlanta, created by a black couple. We don't hear a lot of noise about it right now, but it was fully automated by a black couple to help their son. How many of us are actually going to Atlanta to shop at their stores just so that we can help them create more? Because that's the thing. Once you see a black person who's creating something that you may seem is inferior, they're not just doing it because that's nigga stuff. They're doing it because that's what they have to work with. And they're depending on us to help increase their cash flow so that they can offer more. So if you're saying that hair product is amazing, but you start seeing them get big and all of a sudden it changed, that's because we stopped buying. And now they have to go somewhere else to have money and financing. And they're saying, since we own 60% of your company, we see that the products you're using is too costly. And in order for us to continue to invest, you have to switch to something that is alternative, that's more affordable and effective. That's because as African Americans, we don't even understand accounting. We don't understand liabilities and assets. We don't understand how all of that stuff offsets one another. One product has so many different elements. And they are saying, if we can change just one ingredient here to a cheaper ingredient, you can sell more. Yet it's going to water down your product. So how many of us are willing to say, you know what? I love the fact that your joggers are terry cloth. Let me keep buying from you so that you can continue using the terry cloth. Your product is so amazing on my skin. I'm not going to say shameless plug, but Glam Body Scrub, GLAM. You can get it from Target. It's amazing. And it's worth every penny. So what if we switch to that knowing that it's amazing so that we can help her increase so that she can offer more and offer more. so that we can keep her business alive. And she doesn't have to go to a lot of different counterparts to increase what she's doing, because we're not helping and we're not selling it, or we're not spreading it through word of mouth. These are the things that as African Americans, we really do start and really have to start looking at. Like our authors, they have some amazing books, but we don't want to buy a $10 book. We can go buy a book from someone else for $2.99. Well, they can sell it for $2.99 because they actually make money off of that book at $2.99. With African Americans, it's not easy for us to make money if the book is not $10, $12, $15. Is it worth every penny? Absolutely. But we're always looking at our own and feeling like because they're trying to cheap us that we don't want to. So this is the moment for us as African Americans to move higher up the totem pole and to begin to do more for one another. Even if that person comes back and they want to, turn their back or smack you or any of those things, you could at least say, you know what, I helped this person here. They did this and it's okay. Because now I'm in a position to where I am visible. So let me offer my product. It's possible. It's done every day. You can bet that these big companies, look at Ford. The Ram brothers worked there first, but they went off and made their own product. No love was lost. It's still competition. So as African Americans, I really think that we need to start increasing our language so that we can enter in and do more for one another. And let the language that we share with one another be love, support. And we're not turning around and going up higher and then spreading our butt cheeks and releasing on our own community. Like we see our biggest influencers in our community do. They're willing to turn around and dump on us and spit on us and say, aha, I got here first. So the totem pole, we're at the bottom, but we always have a chance to go to the top. We just have to push forward and do it together. Because yes, one can chase 10,000, sure. But more of us, we can chase millions. And I know that I'm definitely saying that differently, but that's how I think. You have one of us. We can create a lot of buzz, but together, we can have so much more that I really do think that we can. Because if you look at it, a lot of these big companies, it's two figureheads. You have the CEO, and then you have the one who's behind it, handling everything else. Just check it out. There's always two that begins to do some amazing things. So I think we should start doing that together and loving one another, knowing that I can trust my brother and my sister because they can trust me. So, yes, this is Brittany Simone with Do You See What I See? And if you don't, let me show you. Peace.